Hello guys and welcome to Watch in Time. So maybe this video is more intended for all of you that are English speakers and live in Europe. Why I say this is because we're going to be presenting today a watch that is American. It's born in Rochester, New York, the brand, Ocean Crawler, born as a micro brand. I wouldn't, in terms of numbers, probably we can still say they are kind of a micro brand, but they are a brand at all the effects. So they are a well-positioned brand nowadays. They launch their core divers. They have several things that they sell, not only watches, but also gears related to watches. They offer a quality and a design that I think it's rare to find nowadays that have a strong inspiration in the old, but have a total new modern DNA. And the latest release that they did, and they caught me totally by surprise, was these models that I have here, the Bolt. That's how it's called, Ocean Crawler Bolt. It comes in different colors, obviously, so you can have your choice. When I ordered it, it was the pre-release, so I had a pre-order, and I saved a lot of money, obviously, from the retail price. And I was really happy to get it because I have a very weak spot for integrated bracelet watches. You all know that I own a lot of integrated bracelet watches, from top brands to more cheaper brands. And to tell you the truth, guys, I am nowadays enjoying much more the cheaper watches in terms of price, not in quality sometimes, than the more expensive ones. And I don't know if other collectors like myself that have such a huge number of watches are or went through the same things that I am going right now. I am more, I don't know, it's weird how it changes, but now I am more into 100% what the watch can actually bring to me back. So the joy, the way of using them, the small details that are different to others, and the more interesting and particular they are, the better, rather than the brand. And that opens, a whole number of possibilities. And when you have nice watches that you love because of the history and the design, and I'm just going to be mentioning one, a Submariner, for example, from Rolex, and then you actually own, like myself, 3 or 4 of them, and you realize you are not wearing them because most of the time you're in a situation that you cannot wear a Rolex. Sometimes it's just too classic. Sometimes it's just a problem of security, and that's not the intention of watches. And unless you are like, I don't know, the rich guy with the yacht that is always traveling with security around, it is very risky nowadays to have certain watches in your wrist. So at the end of the day, that feeling, that pleasure that the watches are going to be bringing you, it's diminished. And just very briefly, I show all of you the Squale Submariner. That's how I call it, because it is a Squale based on and I know this was based on a collaboration with Squale, with an Asian market provider, and they are still based on their history. Squale has done these watches in the past. It's not like something new. And actually the case is based on the old Submariner, in the aluminum bezel Submariner, and it's perfect in terms of measure sometimes compared to the newer ones. And it is a watch that I enjoy wearing every day if I want to wear a Submariner like watch. And it's still an Squale with an ETA movement inside, and it costs a ridiculous low amount of money for what it's bringing to you. Full stainless steels, optimum craftsmanship, excellent Swiss movement inside, and reliable. And the prices are usually lower than $600 to $500 euros, and that's insanely cheap even compared to other Squales, to their more classical case shape line. So anyway, I just wanted to open the discussion on that, but let's go back to the integrated watch. And enjoying watches, so I was saying, it's not only about the money. let's look at this Sketch D1 Milano. I hate quartz watches, something that I don't like, but in this watch I can accept that because the watch for 140 euros and give me something that other watches does not, and it's to make me laugh when I see it. It is a toy, yes, absolutely, but it's just fun, and you know, it's a cheap watch that you can enjoy, very light, very cheap, integrated bracelet. It looks like someone drew it from a black cardboard, and it's an excellent option. So anyway, let's go back to our Ocean Crawler. Ocean Crawler, as I was saying, interesting brand. I love it. When I saw that they were launching an integrated bracelet watch, I was all on it. And they actually sell it with something like, oh, this is not our integrated bracelet watch, but it's actually the finest 60 ATM watch diver that you will find in the market. So it's like they're trying to set a record. They say there are no 60 ATM 600 meters water resistant diving watches that are as thin as this one. And actually it is quite thin at the end because it's at 12.3 millimeters for 60 ATM. Excellent, I love it, that's great. But that was not what bought me definitely to get that. I was more into the integrated bracelet and the fact that it's actually a diver watch rather than how thin it was. It was a little bit thicker, I wouldn't have minded. But anyway, it works great. It's a 42 millimeters watch. Ocean Crawlers they usually don't do watches for a small wrist. They tend to do big watches that have a statement when they are in the wrist. And this is the case obviously also for this Ocean Crawler. They come in several colorways, so you have the blue, the red, the black, a full Lume one, and a yellow one with green accents. They also give you a very nice leather strap to change or swap if you want to give it a new life. And the integrated bracelet, even if it's a 42 millimeters case, definitely it's going to wear big, but having no locks and just dropping down in a very nice manner to your wrist, it makes it a little bit better in terms of wearing. So just for you all guys to bear this in mind, this is a watch I don't recommend for a small wrist. A fun watch to have. It's a Swiss-made movement. The price, when you manage to get some discounts that they do, now they're launching the DLC version of this one with a pre-order discount. But if you manage to get it with a discount, it's definitely 110% worth the money. The movement is great, the craftsmanship, the case, everything that you're going to be finding on these watches. And you can see how well it sits on my 18 centimeter wrist. It is a diver. It is an integrated bracelet watch, and in this very nice Bordeaux red colorway with the black logo, something that you don't see on their website, because if you go to their website, they actually show you the dial with a white logo. Here it's black, and I think it's actually better to be black, because to the simple immediate eye, what you see is the Ocean Crawler written, and it's not that big on the dial, so that definitely saves you a lot on the dial. It makes it just cleaner. And they also have the name here, bold in orange. They tend to do that in all their watches. Orange is kind of their thing. They use it a lot, straps, colorways, etc., and especially writing the model of the watch. Very nice and interesting the fact that on the crown side you have a very flat area between the crowns, so it's obviously screw. It doesn't have shoulders to protect it, but it goes kind of into the case, and this flat area gives a very interesting perspective to the watch, while on the area of the 9 o'clock you can see it's not flat and it's actually quite smooth, and it kind of rounded around that area. So that's a touch of the design that I actually appreciate. I don't think it's something negative, and it gives a little bit more of personality to the watch. Sapphire glass bezel with full lume. It works quite nicely, as you can see very quickly with the UV light. It comes out quite impressively. So in terms of duration, probably, you know, all Lume doesn't last that long, except for some of them, even if they are Swiss Lume. But for diving and charging it in the sun before you're going to be diving, that's great. If you want to do it, this is going to be your thing. This works just fine. And having the outer bezel being also Lume, that definitely helps you see where you're going. And that's something you don't find a lot on diving watches. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video, and we will be in touch very soon with a new one. So until then, please take care.